Hey, what's up, guys? Walt Ribeiro here. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and comment. And this question is for Canis Fam, who asked in yesterday's video was, how do I tune, what's the difference, or how do I change keys without going out of tune? And by the way, really quick, any question you have, leave them below, or you can go to my website, waltribeiro.net. I'll leave all the information in the video description. So, okay, the thing about playing out of tune, in tune, and changing keys are two completely different things, because you can play out of tune but still be in the same key, and you can play a different key signature and then be, or you can play in tune and be in a different key. Okay, so let me just, maybe I got that confused, but anyway, it goes like this. I can play in tune. So let's say let's stick with the chords E minor. I'll move this over. That, how's that? E minor, C, E minor. Okay, and if I were to play out of tune, let's take this E string, bring that out of tune. Now it's going to sound like this. You have that sound there. Let's bring this out of tune too. So. Okay, it's the same chords, but now I'm playing out of tune. So they're two different things. All right, so let me just show you the idea of how I can, of different options I can do when changing key signatures and still be in tune. Okay, so if you're out of tune, then that has to do with you playing, having to obviously tune the guitar or playing the correct notes when you're performing. So getting into that, one of the things that we can do if we want to change keys, and it's very, very, very common, is to go to the relative major key. So if I'm in the key of E minor, it's actually, it has one sharp in it, which is F sharp, but that's also the same as saying the key of G major. G major, bring it down, G major, and E minor are the same key. So, well, the same number of sharps and flats. So one thing to do is that if I'm playing my E minor song, or chord progression, or riff, the common thing to do is to go to the relative major. Okay, so that's one thing to do. Another common thing that you can do in terms of changing key signatures without going obviously out of tune, or out of key, or making it kind of work with your ear, is to go up a half step. And this is a very common thing that you see in Disney films, or hear in Disney films. So if you hear, and I forget who it was, I think it was the Black Eyed Peas, did it like this in the Super Bowl. They went up a half step. So let me show you that real quick based off of the same riff. So let's play this E minor riff right now. Now instead of going E minor, C, D, E minor, I'm going to go to F. Okay, and so if you were to connect that with what I was talking about yesterday in terms of the picking, it actually does sound pretty cool. So you would have this. All right, and so what I did was I played the same chord pattern, the same form with my left hand, but the actual key changed. I went from E minor to C to D. Then I went from F to C sharp to D sharp, or or F to D flat to E flat. So that's another thing that that's very common. Another thing that you can do is actually relate off of the actual scale, and to not really have much of a theory other than the fact. Well, I mean, there's a theory behind it, but that at the end of the day, you do what sounds right. So another thing that you can do is actually take it, and instead of playing, so for example, if you're in the key of E minor, you can go to an A minor key because they're relative with each other. So you would go to the 4. So let me show you that. You would have this E minor. Now let's go to A minor. Okay, and so another thing that you can do, and just notice that the F right there was actually not in the key of E minor, yet it sounded good because you had the A minor chord playing before it, which set up the A minor scale, which actually was outside of the key of the E minor scale. This might be a little bit over your head, but just stick with it, and I'm going to play a little song at the end, and you'll hear how it all sounds. So another thing to do is I mentioned about going to the relative minor. But you can, or going to the relative major. You can also go to the parallel major. Okay, so let me show you the difference. What I was just referring to is that this is your E major chord, or let's say your E minor chord. Or okay, let's stick with E major. This is your key, right? E major. The parallel minor would be the same root note but a minor chord. So it would be this: E minor. E major, E minor. Let's go to G. And let's go to G minor. And let's go to G flat minor. F minor. Okay, so all those were out of the key, but it also, a lot of it stands to how you actually carry it. Is that if you sell it correctly and you make it sound right, then anything can work. Anything can be in the key, out of the key, theory-wise, whatever, it doesn't matter. Whatever sounds good to your ear is what works. So let me play a quick little song where I'll just make up stuff on the spot. I'll go in the key, out of key, I'll alternate pick, I'll, do some stuff, and show that the idea of like just have fun with it, and you'll hear some of these some of the keys going up, some going down. I'll go to some relative majors, parallel majors. I'll go major minor, and you'll kind of hear how the idea of playing out of the key but still making it work. So let's go down, and here we go. E minor, C, D, let's go to B minor. Have the A, B minor, A, let's go to the E minor chord. E major, E minor, E major. Then from here I'm going to go to G. Back to E minor. Let's go back to that B minor chord. C, B minor, to D, then let's play the E7, which is going to bring us to the A minor chord. Then let's go up the half step. Then let's maybe play the ninth chord. D. And then I ended on the G major chord, which was the relative major of what I just played, so of the E minor. So that's it. Just have fun with it. See what works, see what doesn't. If something sounds right, use it a lot. If something sounds wrong, don't use it. Play in different keys. Learn through other people. But there I went in a bunch of different keys, in and out. Like nothing too crazy, but you know, fun stuff to play on the guitar. You know, and that's it. Any questions you have, leave them below. And you know, we'll see you back here tomorrow. All right, guys. Peace.